Episode 119, Business Growth Through Events, Social Media, and Smart Sales Funnels. Everyone talks about social media and ads, especially Matt Hansen, the co-host here of this podcast, because he is a digital marketing professor. But some of the most powerful marketing strategies for growth and sales happen when you bring people together in the real world. In this episode of Mastering Local Marketing, we break down why running your own event can completely change how customers discover you, trust you, and buy from you. From turning one night into months of social media content to building partnerships that expand your reach, events are more than just gatherings. They are sales engines hiding in plain sight. If you want new ways to drive business growth, strengthen your marketing strategies, and create experiences that convert faster than traditional advertising. In this episode, we will challenge you how to think about events, content, and community, because sometimes the fastest path to sales is not another post. It is building the room yourself. Matt Hansen, how you doing?
I am good. I keep joking. I keep adding one or two sentences to that description every week to see how long I can get you to read.
Well, I know it's only,
You're going to start it, and then it's going to go, okay, and in the
that's
beginning,
the pod.
there was lights and all that stuff.
I have a mild case of dyslexia, and it has always been difficult for me to read out loud, which sounds odd in that I've been talking on the radio for 40 years, right? But
I'm here to challenge you.
I very rarely read because of that. Yeah. But we have a couple of guests today.
We do. We have a couple students with us today.
All right. Your name, Kat?
Yes, Catherine Swears. I'm a senior here.
At PNW. What are you studying?
I'm studying business management and entrepreneurship.
Why?
There is not many women in the male-dominated business field, and I'm here to change that.
Heck yeah.
What do you see 5-10 years from now?
I never could be controlled as a child, so I knew from day one that I have to be my own boss, and I want to create my own business.
And your name, please?
Yes, my name is Lydia Aldevane. I am a double major in marketing and business management with a concentration in entrepreneurship and a minor in digital marketing, a mouthful.
So I'm just curious, why are you leaning toward entrepreneurship? That usually, to me, that kind of, people find that a little bit more after school, but you guys glommed onto it early on, right?
1,000%. And I would say that in high school, my passion for it really evolved. I did plenty of business competitions in high school. I competed, and it had more of that entrepreneurship base kind of thing. So, and I also have a lot of role models into the entrepreneurship world. Loved watching Shark Tank growing up. So it's always been a part of me in some sort of capacity. And I also love marketing.
Matt's working with, helping us, and we see it. It's like, gosh, we have so many strides, but at the same time, it's always a little bit it's out of your reach, it seems like. So you ready for that? You ready for that kind of patience, or is it, I got to have it now?
I would say that in high school, I was definitely more of like, right when I get out of high school, I want to be there, like right at the top. And then, in college, and really learning of the patience it takes and the consistency of it all. It's consistent, and I had to learn that over the years. And you just have to be patient with it. And I've learned that a lot. And I'm ready for that patience, however long it'll take. If it's 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, I want to remember my life that at least I tried.
What's the big sell?
So the big sell is essentially our annual P&W pitch competition. This year is going to be our 15th annual competition. Essentially, it's a chance to win $10,000 in 6 minutes. It's going to be open to students, community, any stage idea, and through the College of Business and the students of Entrepreneurship 401, we are going to be hosting that and managing it. Essentially, students and whoever would like to enter submit a 2-minute pitch process, and that will be open between March 1st and March 22nd. Between the entrepreneurship students, we are going to select the top 10 finalists out of all of those 2-minute submissions. And from there, the top 10 finalists will go on May 2nd. The big sell will be happening. They will present a 6-minute live pitch in front of a live panel of judges. And we do have our judges selected.
So that's what we're talking about today
Yeah.
is a lot of times Matt and I talk about Facebook ads, emailing, SEO.
Yeah.
We also talk about buying local advertising and also about podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not altogether sure we've ever talked about holding an event. I mean, this is giving me like I feel like the Wicked Witch right now, just throwing water on me because I don't want to. Host. I've got a radio station, TV station. We do all that. I try to stay away from events.
You like to sit in a room by yourself. We got that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Exactly.
Kind of like you.
I do. But every once in a while, you got to throw an event, right?
Every once in a while, you got to throw an event, and you got to throw on a sport coat a lot of times, and you got to wash your hair, and you've got to be really nice to
Appreciate
people.
that.
What does that, putting all that stuff on, do for a business?
Yeah, so I used to have a mentor that told me whenever times are slow, throw a party, right? So throw an event, throw something together. And we used to look at our 12-month schedule, and we would be busy. You'd be busy during the holidays. You'd be busy during kind of like Easter time. You would be busy during these areas, but then you had this lull in traffic. You had this lull in sales. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with the podcast, right? So the podcast, obviously, there's a lot of people that drop off in the summertime. So there's all these things that are going on, right? But when you look at events, the way to look at it is you can predict when sales are traditionally going to happen, when people are going to walk into your business or make the phone call, right? Mm-hmm. If you're, your HVAC buddy, you know that when it gets hot and when it gets cold, those phones are going to ring like crazy. Mm-hmm. But there's the lull, and when it's 60, 70 degrees outside, you're not going to get the phone calls like you normally would. So what is it that you can do to kind of stimulate those purchases at that time, right? So what we're talking about is events, and what we used to say is if we're bored and we're standing around waiting for a customer to come in, it's time to throw an event, throw a party, throw an after hours thing, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And we used to do that all the time. So we would have all these different events in these slow periods because it would drive traffic in and your sales would go up. So that's what I wanted to talk about today because, as you said, most of the time we're talking about social media and email and driving traffic to our website. And really what we're doing is we're sitting there waiting for individuals to come to us. What people are looking for, and the two of you can jump in on this, is you want something to do, right? Like Jim, you're always jumping from event to event to event, right? You're like, oh, I got to go here today, and I got to go here to hear, the mayor, and I got to, right? Mm-hmm. So there's all these different events that are going on. But, if you're sitting there and you're waiting for social to take hold, you're staring at a door or you're staring at the phone for people to start making a phone call. Mm-hmm. If you're inviting people to an event and you make the event fun, it relates to these individuals, then you're going to get people that are walking in. And when people walk in and you're giving them, we talked about the law of reciprocity last week. The idea is you give them some food, you give them some good time, some entertainment, and all of a sudden the cash register starts to ring. So that's what we're talking about today, is that most people put money into social and wait. Mm-hmm. What we're trying to do here is let's put energy and money into an event that draws people through the door or onto the phones, however we're looking at this, right away, and then we can build off of that, right? So that's where I wanted to go today with this one, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but mm-hmm. What's the last event that you went to? I mean, any of you?
I remember for school, the Women in Business Brunch. Mm-hmm. It was an event for obviously women and celebrating just the leadership, and I'm pretty sure the College of Business hosted it. And I could tell definitely from, the minute that I got there, lots of planning went into it. And it felt like we were all important. And I think that's really, really, really important for whenever, you decide to make an event, you have to put, the time and the effort so people feel included, so it brings people back. So now I know that for this year, I'm definitely going to go back to that event because it was just so incredible last year. The people that were planning it, the people that I talked to, all the intricate, details from it, from walking in, the visuals, the food, whatever that may be a part of it. I've definitely learned that from just going to various events, but from that specific one, I'm like, okay, I see that.
But let's put this into perspective, right? Maybe you're watching a video on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube.
Right.
You don't feel connected, right?
Yeah.
But when you walk into an actual location, somebody embraces you, starts talking with you, welcome, you need to meet XYZ, all these different things. You feel part of a little community, a little tribe, right? So what we're saying here is the event part of it will actually bring your customers closer to you.
Yeah.
And they'll start asking, when's the next event? When can we, what are you looking to do? And we used to do a ton of these all the time, right? So we would have a Mother's Day event where we had all kinds of different things from pampering and massages and facials and all this other stuff in this.
Right.
And it wasn't for me, right? I just kind of stood there and helped in any capacity I could. But Mother's Day was never a huge time for sales for us, so we knew we just had to get people in the door. As you start to get into the summer, things, there's a lot of people walking around and doing different things, but, sales typically went down in the summer. So how do you start to boost some of those things up? So we used to do furniture sales where we would get a container of furniture that would come in, and it was one-off pieces, and when it was gone, it was gone. We would do print sales, and we would have them all over outside so people would see what's going on here, and we would invite everyone in, and we would do thousands and thousands of dollars over a weekend that we normally wouldn't do any business, right? So that's what I'm saying here is that we need to look at it from it's a connection and it's getting people involved, right? But when we flip it to the social media side, I know you guys are planning the big sale right now.
Yes.
You're probably out there promoting it in some capacity, which is why you're here.
Yes.
But you're probably promoting it on social media. So you have the before, you have the during, and then you have the after, right? So you create almost 90 days of content when you're doing an event. So just because you do an event, you promote it a little bit, and then you have the event, most people forget about it. They don't necessarily follow it up with things. But you can literally build 90 days of content, the 30 days leading up to it, the day of the event or the weekend of the event, whatever it may be, and then continually going beyond that with just different content of, user-generated content that you create as you're going through it, right? So as you guys are hosting the big sell, you could create user-generated content where you're talking with each one of the participants. What are their thoughts on it? How easy was it to participate? What are you anticipating? Where are you taking this company in the next, 3, 6, 9 months, right? So there's all of this opportunity with throwing one single event that most people don't look at, but you're creating a community by doing this.
I know exactly, having taken 2 of his classes and then having done 119 episodes of Mastering Local Marketing,
Right.
that one of the things he's going to press on you is to somehow collaborate with people who have similar audiences. Now, looking at the big sell, I'll just give you what I would immediately think of is Chrissy LaFletch over here at Munster with there is an entrepreneurship / DM person at Crown Point, and I forget who that is, but they are similar audiences. Certainly leveraging Landon, who has huge amounts of contacts in the field, along with Cy Magnin and some of the other people there that are at Elevate. Somehow I would say, well, what hey, can you help us out, especially as students? Anytime you go, hey, you got any ideas? Maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. That would be two starts, but eventually, Matt, you're going to tell them they got to collaborate, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of collaboration that you can do. I mean, different similar audiences collaborate. I mean, even if there's if there's something here at the radio station with things that you guys are doing. I mean, there's a simple collaboration.
Your collaboration right here. You also have another person in your judges that is Jason Williams.
Yes.
Jason knows everybody in the innovation and entrepreneurship
Very
world.
Connected in the high school space.
Yeah, he's in the high school space. Start with Chrissy LaFleche over here at Munster, and she knows all of them. They have a club.
Yeah.
And then Jason actually knows a lot of the Society of Innovators, like say, I think White Lodging won it a couple of years ago. I think the IBEW won it. You won it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is we won it. We won an award last, and he's got this Rolodex. Anybody who's ever won an award will help anybody else who wants to innovate. So, anyways, I just bring that up. The reason I say that for the small and medium-sized business is you got to think out of the box to find your collaborators. Yeah. Who wants to help, and then B, who can have an audience that could get people to my business, right? So let's go back to the sales funnel. We always have to come back to the sales funnel. Do you guys ever take his class when he talks about it? Awareness, consideration.
Lydia will see it next semester.
Okay,
over and over and over.
But it's a funnel. Adriana's heard it 100 times. You got to have awareness.
I think you saw it too.
Cats, and you got to do it on consideration, and then you got to do it on the close. How does that apply to running an event?
Yeah, so just like everything you do in marketing, you need to measure. So if you're sending out 500 postcards to your customers, you need to something on that postcard needs to come back for a free gift or a discount or something, right? So they have to bring the card back with them. You keep track of the number of cards that you got back for the free gift or whatever it may be. You track that back to, so now I sent 500 cards. I had 100 people come into the event. Mm-hmm. I had 50 people purchase, and I know that my average order during that was $60. Mm-hmm. Now you can measure the ROI on the entire event, right? So if you can do that, and I was just having this conversation with somebody, I think it was on Monday, and we figured out that it costs $10 to get a new customer. And I'm like, okay, why aren't we doing this more? Like, let's go, right? I said, my text message was basically, let's light it up, right?
Right.
But the idea is this, that if you're throwing an event and you're being profitable with that event, and it's in a lull time of the year, and you can go through that sales funnel and say, well, we just made $1,000 and it costs us $200 to put on the event and cost of goods sold and everything else. I get it, but we're making money. Let's run another one. Let's do another one. So that's what I talk about. Like one of my old mentors would always say, what's next? What's next? What's next? And it's because you shouldn't sit there and wait for the holiday season just to start selling. You need to look at the lulls and go, all right, if it's July, what can we do in July that's going to drive traffic in here, and let's launch it and let's test it and let's do it. And that's by looking at the sales funnel, you understand that I sent this many postcards or I sent this many emails or whatever it may be. This is how many people came in. This is how many people purchased. This is our average order. I know exactly what happened. So I would say probably 85-90% of companies don't do that.
It all comes back to counting everything. It's, we're not very good at aggregating data, but if the earlier in my mind that you can get familiar with everything has to be measured, specific, measurable, time, all that, the smart stuff in operations applies to marketing. But ultimately, Matt, what's the message? It's always for our small to medium-sized business. What is it?
Drive traffic, but realize that when we're talking about doing events, people are always looking for something to do, right? So we look at the weekend. What are we doing? I don't know. There's nothing going on, right? So we just had the Super Bowl last week. This week, you just kind of go, all right, well, let's catch up on everything that we didn't do last weekend. But I would rather go do something that excites me than clean the garage or do something like that. So realize that people are always looking for events, and if you can provide an event that people get excited over, they're going to come in, they're going to spend money, you're going to make more money, and you're going to get more customers.
There's the best example of that in the Calumet region that I can think of was sitting in that chair where you're sitting 2 days ago, and that was Josh Halpern of Albert's Diamond Jewelers. They're marrying 10 couples on Valentine's Day throughout the day. I think they had 8, and they were looking for 2 more, and I think they filled that. So there's an event that started with marrying one person, and then now you have to get a reservation to get married there on Valentine's Day. And the traffic that drives, the social media they get, I mean, the clips that we get, I mean, all of that is just massive. But it started with kind of a middling event, not a massive deal for a few years, and then all of a sudden it blossomed.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
She is Kat, and she is Lydia, and he is Matt Hansen. I'm Jim Diedlow here at WJOB, and the purveyor of the WJOB Podcast Network and the engineer of this has been Adriana Alvarez. And thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
us.
And until next time, we'll see you later.